So, I'm a graduate from CMU back when it was still Mesa State College in 2009. And then from there, I went on to um, work with campus ministry and work in a church setting with American Lutheran Church here in town. Um, and so there's definitely a faith background that you will see there. As well, there is, I'm a runner, so I've run 9 full marathons, which is the 26.2. Along with several half marathons and shorter distances. In high school, I was a cross country runner. And I also currently operate a blog on running and provides running tips and an online community setting for runners of different backgrounds. The nature of the quarantine, along with the safer at home piece that we're moving into, is inherently the home is a small space. There's not a lot of space to move around, even if you have a 3,000 square foot home or whatever. It's still small compared to parks and trails and all of these outdoor spaces. So when you're stuck at home, it's difficult to find the area or the area to move around and be physically active, especially if you live in an apartment setting. So the importance becomes compounded when you are no longer able to get out and do stuff. So there's a great number of ways to stay active, but it's important to maintain that active, both for stress reasons. Physical activity lowers your stress, and just for your health. Scientific studies have shown that being active improves cardiovascular health, improves mental functioning, emotional well-being, and that's just the start of the list. So let's start with just staying at home, because the order was to stay at home, and then we'll kind of expand on that. There are a number of ways to stay active at home. If you have home gym elements like weights or different resistance exercises, if you have those big yoga balls, you can use those. And there are a number of ways to stay healthy. And if you lack those, you can get creative. You can take water jugs or milk jugs, and those weigh 8 pounds a piece. So you can just use one and have 8-pound weights. I think, yeah, maybe 8.2, but same thing at that point. So, and if you need more, you can take rope and tie them together and have 2 on each hand and use those as resistance weights. There's also on YouTube, there are a ton of free workout classes that are high intensity interval training or HIIT training. There's a variety of different programs that you can use that are designed to help get you active. There are yoga instructors that provide free videos on YouTube. I follow a couple of those. And HIIT, yoga, and that will pretty much see you all the way through if you're stuck in the house. The stay-at-home order was great because it had provisions for getting out. So you could go to open spaces, to parks, to trails, as long as you maintain that 6-foot distance. So here in Grand Junction, we have the Riverfront Trail, and as long as you stayed 6 feet away from someone, you could go for a run. You could go for a walk outside. And that would totally be within the legal side of things, as well as the important maintaining physical fitness through that whole, this whole time. But there are a ton of online resources and resources on your phone too. So on your phone, you have GPS trackers that work amazing. They'll measure you down to the 100th of a mile and count calories and all of these different ways that you can get a metric on how active you are, much like your Fitbit or a GPS watch. So your phone has some great things. I like my favorite apps for the phone for keeping track. Adidas has one called Runtastic, and that's a great app. I've used that. It really drains your battery, though. That's my one critique. Also, Strava. Strava is a great platform. It's kind of like Facebook for running and cycling and hiking, where you can record your activities and then upload it to your page. And there's communities and different clubs, online clubs you can join, that you can communicate and encourage other runners in your area and around the world. So Strava is a great one. I love Strava. Another one is active.com. They are more into the event side of things. So if you log on to active.com, you can find virtual events where you can pay a small registration fee. It's usually $5 or $10 and run or walk a 5K race and then get your t-shirt and medal. Just having that event to lead up to, build up to, is a great way to stay motivated. And then as far as YouTube goes, for resources out there, YouTube has a ton of things. I follow a YouTuber. He's a professional yoga instructor out of Santa Barbara, California, but Tim Senesi is his name. He has a great YouTube video with all sorts of different yoga styles, if you want. There's the highly active Vinyasa yoga and all of these different things. So there are a number of routes you can take to find the interaction of faith and fitness. And it's important to remember that there is a dialogue between our faith and our physical life, where, for example, back in Genesis, you find God creating these people and giving them this creation mandate to take the world and everything in it and work over it and to tend it and to love it. As creation mandate. And as we move through scripture, you find especially in the Psalms, the relationship between nature and who God is, and those metaphors. And all of this invites us into taking care of all that is around us. And that includes our physical bodies. I guess my recommendation would be find what works for you. It doesn't matter what makes you physically active as long as it's something you enjoy. So for me, it's running. For other people, it's lifting. And a lot of people who lift hate running, and vice versa. And so just find what works for you and make it something that you enjoy. So whether it's a sport or a hobby, it doesn't necessarily matter. It could be just going for a walk in the evening, but just engaging in that physical activity that you